Hey everybody, this week's Torah portion is Parshas Tetzaveh, and this week we will do something that we do once a year, where we will read the story of the Amalekites attacking the Jewish people. Just a quick recap, the Jewish people get out of Egypt, and as they're leaving Egypt, or shortly after they leave Egypt, this nation called Amalek travels 500 kilometers, and for no apparent reason decides to attack the Jewish people, and starts with the people in the rear, and then heads on for a full battle in which the Jewish people defeat the Amalekite nation. Now, the Medrash tells us that there was a very interesting conversation that took place before the Amalekites came to attack. They got together and they said, hey, look at this group of people. Ungrateful they are. Here the Egyptians let them stay in their country for a couple hundred years, and what do they do in return? They go and wipe out the Egyptian nation. Therefore, we have no choice but to take revenge for the Egyptians and kill the Jewish people. So essentially they had two claims against the Jews. One, that the Jews killed the Egyptians, and two, that they not only killed a nation, but they also killed the people who hosted them for several hundred years. Now, as lovely thinking as that is, it's a very distorted picture of reality, because the reality was, A, the Jewish people didn't kill any Egyptians. God did the killing, and it was openly miraculous. Everyone knew about it around the world. And B, even more of a question mark on this logic the Amalekites had for attacking the Jewish people. The Egyptians were not hosting the Jews. The Egyptians were enslaving the Jews, okay? The difference between hosting and enslaving is that when you're hosting somebody, they can walk out whenever they want. When you're enslaving somebody, they can't. So as beautiful as a rationalization as this is that the Amalekites created, it's such a far cry from reality. Why is it that they were able to use this and justify their actions when this is a very distorted picture of reality? And to understand this, we have to understand something very important about the human being. At the core of every human being, Jew, Gentile, or anything else, every human being has a godly soul. And because of that, it is impossible for a person to do something that they consciously know is wrong. Therefore, in order to do something bad, the Amalekites had to come up with some convoluted reason why what they were doing was really good. Meaning, not only can't we do something bad, we have to explain why everything we do is good. And that's why the Amalekites had to sit down and have this conversation before attacking the Jewish people. They had to come up with some reason to justify to that little core inside of them, that little godly piece, that little soul, screaming out to do what's right. They had to justify it, to say to it, no, this is right. Why? Because the people we want to kill, they decided to go in and hurt other people who were hosting them. And while this may not make sense to anybody on the outside, it was enough of a rationalization for them to justify doing an incredible act of cruelty. And that's really why we remember this every year. One of the reasons, at least, why we make sure once a year to remember what they did to us is not because we want to get revenge and keep something inside of us burning for no reason. It's really just to keep us conscious of the fact that we all have moments in our lives where we do something that an outsider would realize is not really that justifiable, but we are able to justify it to ourselves, and we have to always be on guard and make sure that we're not falling prey to the same things that the Amalekites fell prey to, which is to justify wrong actions with good intentions. On behalf of Makarav, Shabbat Shalom.